Welcome to Make a Path Presents, where we talk about everything that has to do with the world of The Walking Dead. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about Image Plus and our first look at the Negan backstory titled Here's Negan. Alright, so we're going to discuss this Image Plus just briefly to give you guys an idea of what it is. Before we get into the Negan backstory, though, this is the magazine you want to pick up. For those who have no clue what this is the first time it's being released. This is basically a previews book. Now, there's two ways to get it. You can buy it straight out for $1.99, or you get this for free if you buy the previews book. Now, the previews book is going to be about this thick. It's kind of like a phone book, and it has previews for everything from DC to Marvel to Dark Horse to Image Comics. So inside you get this free. It's kind of like getting your Sunday newspaper, and then inside you get the flyers for free. If you just want the flyers, or if you just want the Image Plus, you pay $2. Now that that's out of the way, also you walk right into your comic shop. Like my guy was like, as soon as I walked in, he's like, dude, grab these because they're gonna go fast. As soon as you walk in on the new release table or wherever they have the new releases, if it's on a rack or the table, you will find this. It just came out today, and this is the very first one. In the back of these Image Plus, they have only a 4-page preview. I'm not going to show them here because the video will get a copyright strike and you'll never be able to see the video. You know what I mean? They showed this already. They already previewed this page, so that's no surprise. But this is the intro. It just says the Walking Dead title. In the little description here, it says it talks about Negan's introduction into the comic, and then it says, and now let's look at his story. So, we have him wrapping barbed wire around Lucille. From this moment, we're now going back in time, and I know this is going to make a lot of fans happy because this is a flash forward in this story. So we're flashing forward to him, post-apocalyptic, building or creating Lucille, and then when you turn the page, you essentially flash back in time to where Negan is playing ping pong, which is cool because he used to play ping pong with the Saviors in the original Walking Dead comic. So he's playing ping pong, and they call him Coach Negan, which I think this might confirm that the whole car salesman stuff that Kirkman hinted at in the letter hacks was probably just bullshit. He was either a car salesman and became a coach or a teacher, or that's straight up bullshit and he's just a teacher. In my opinion, I'm not even going to look at the letter hacks as being proof of anything. I'm going to go with what we've seen in this issue, and he is a teacher or a coach, whatever both you want to call it, because then he talks about being a teacher later. So it looks like either his wife or his sister, someone in his family, after the kids leave, which I gotta show this one little moment. There's 3 kids here playing ping pong, but one of them looks just, who does that look like? One of the kids looks just like Glenn. Has the baseball cap. He's dressed just like him. It's essentially just him playing ping pong, cussing out some kids. They leave. Wife comes around the corner saying, you can't act like that to the kids. And Negan's like, listen, I got to be the cool teacher. They say way worse shit than I do. You know what I mean? Then she faints. I got flashbacks of Flight 462 while reading this. However, I skimmed through the Image Plus guide, and I really like what they're doing. So I'm not mad that they're breaking up the Negan story, although right off the bat, now that I read the first issue, or the first part, it's going to be a 12-part. We're only getting one 4-page tease every single month for the next year. That, however, I think is overkill. I do appreciate what they're doing here. They're showing us. They're basically forcing us to get this Image Plus, and that's a good thing in my opinion, because now that I scan through this, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now that I scan through this, I like what they're doing here. There's interviews, and again, we're going to talk about that in a second, but my only problem is I think 12 months is overkill. And the only reason I'm bringing it up now is I'm hoping they change their mind. I'm hoping they do. Maybe 4 or 5 months, they say, okay, Image Plus is doing good now. We're going to scrap the whole Negan stuff, and we're going to come out with, Negan's whole story in a physical solo comic, a one-off. What did I say, like 38 pages, 48 pages? I hope they just come out with one comic. I don't give a shit if they charge $10 for the comic, as long as they give it to us all at once. Maybe in 5-6 months from now, all at once instead of waiting a year. I feel like it's overkill. there's not 4 pages is not a lot to sink your teeth into, you know, and I'm afraid it's going to have the same effect that Flight 462 did on Fear. It's a great idea. Execution is weak. It's very weak. So, and it feels like the same thing because AMC recently came out with with an interview from David Erickson, the showrunner and co-creator of Fear the Walking Dead, and they confirmed it was in fact AMC. It was a corporate decision. They structured that, the segmenting those little splinter parts of the story all throughout the commercial breaks. In my opinion, honestly, it shows a lack of confidence in YouTube. If you don't have confidence in YouTube, you were behind the times, honestly. They could have took that Flight 462, fuck the commercials. They could have put it in commercials every now and then. Who gives a shit? Sure, whatever. But they could have put that out in 2-minute increments, you know, one every other month or one every month, however it plays out. They could have put it on YouTube alone with little mini commercials telling people to go to YouTube and watch it. They could have done something like that, and it would have been way better, in my opinion. I think that would have been a smarter decision. And I'm afraid they're going to go down the same street with this Negan story, and I think they're going to burn some of the fans out. Now, if they bring the fire, and again, I know Charlie Adler needs time. I'm sure he's pretty busy. He needs time to get the art down and whatever, but they knew this was coming. So if they already have the art done, or they already should have started the art a while back, they should be either finished or close to finished by now. I don't think they would be that far behind, you know, because this was announced months ago. I just feel like it might have the potential to burn fans out. Listen, it didn't even come out yet, and there's already fans saying, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it till you release it. Which, I'm not like that. I'm a fan that's like, I want to know the story day one. Plus, I gotta review it. But honestly, if I didn't have to review it, I wouldn't have rushed to the comic shop today. I would have called the comic shop and said, hey, I'm coming in next week for, you know, The Walking Dead's new 150 whatever issue. Hold it for me till then. There would be no rush. But since I'm doing a review, I had to rush out and grab it. So my take from it is, I like the beginning. I like how it's Coach Negan. I think that fits. You know, I know a lot of fans are talking about they love the mystery of Negan and they don't want to see it because then it kind of dilutes that, you know, wondering who he was before the apocalypse. I don't buy in that. I do believe that mystery is good for a lot of characters. It works. However, for Rick Grimes, you know, he's one of my most favorite characters ever in comic books history, you know, and we know almost everything about him. You know what I mean? There's no mystery there. And it doesn't hurt the character. It doesn't hurt how much we like the character. Same thing with Negan. I think we can get the whole story for Negan. 4 pages, not much there, but they hooked me. I'm real curious to see what happens and why she fainted. There's not a lot of room for filler, so obviously they're going to go right into this fainting, right into the breakdown of society. I don't think we're going to see any more of Negan's life. We might see it in bits and pieces when he meets people in his neighborhood or from work or coworkers as society's breaking down, but I don't think we're going to get a lot more filler. I mean, they might really surprise us and have her go to the hospital, have Negan go through some shit, and then go into the breakdown, but I just don't know if there's enough room in the 40-some pages to do all that. But I could be wrong. Listen, I think there's 48 pages. We're getting it once a month for the whole year, like I said, so that is going to be... when you look at it, you already used up 4 pages, so I don't think there's enough room for filler. That's all I'm going to say about that. Getting into the Image Plus for just a moment, this is cool because they have interviews with creators, and it feels like there's a lot of focus on creator-owned work, and that I absolutely love. And it also seems like there's an investment in the comic book community to propel the future of the comic book industry into more stable financial ground, if you get what I'm saying. It feels like they're investing in the industry with this Image Plus and how they go about it, how they support creator-owned. So that's all a good thing. They also show previews. Here's Snot Girl. It's pretty disgusting. I don't know what it is, but you got previews for Snot Girl. Here's Moto Crush. That's a pretty cool, badass image there. There's another cool one here, AD After Death. And it has a cool little intro. Again, I did not read any of these or look into it in depth. I just skim through it to see what it is, and then once you read, I guess this is the opener. Once you get into it, now you have the comic where you can preview some of it. Where's the one that really made me interested? I want to know what that is. Oh, right here. It's called The Throwaways. What they do is they do it like this, and they give you some backstory on who the creators are, who created this, who draws it, who writes it, and then they give you a little preview from the looks of it. And it looks pretty badass, this one, called The Throwaways. In the back here, it's a little piece you can detach. And if I'm being rough with this, I bought two. Yeah, I know. One to collect and one to whatever. It was only $2. Anyway, you can take this, and it's perforated here, so you can detach it, and you can mark down what you want for July. They skipped May. What are we in? April? We're ending April, so they skipped May and June and went right to July. So I don't understand that, but hell, whatever. So you can actually mark down, Walking Dead 156. And I highly recommend everyone who gets this tears out this back page and use the checklist here. And no, I'm not sabotaging you to raise the price of or the value of this in the collectible market. Yeah, I am. Anyway, okay, Image Plus, I think it's cool. Like I said, it's like a mini magazine. It's actually a lot better than I anticipated. I expected this to be like a catalog of statues and t-shirts and other shit you could just buy, which I wasn't looking forward to that. I thought it was kind of stupid. But now knowing what this is exactly, and I kind of feel like they advertise this wrong. I feel like the way they advertise this catalog, they failed on it, because when I read the advertisements to what this is, it made it seem like it was a flyer of shit to buy, you know what I mean? And it's not. It's really in depth. I mean, there's interviews here, there's a lot to read. It's like a mini, Image magazine every month. Unless I read the wrong articles, but I think they could have promoted this a little better. I would have been really excited if I knew exactly what was coming in this Image Plus. Anyway, this Image Plus, if they keep up with some good stuff, some good information, interviews, behind the scenes stuff, what's going on, what's coming out, who's doing what, when, how, why, conventions, whatever. If they're doing interviews and tips and tricks and they keep doing this, I might stick with Image Plus, for $2 a month, even past when the Negan backstory is all said and done. That's my thoughts and opinions. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think about not only the Negan backstory, but also how they've broken it up into little splinters of 4 pages every single month for the next 12 months. Let me know your feelings on that. Let me know if you're going to keep with it, or are you going to just wait the whole year and then read the whole story all at once. And also, if you did pick up the Image Plus, which, by the way, you can only get this, from what I know, you can only get this at your local comic book shop. So I don't know where else you can buy it online. Oh, and I can't go without telling you guys about the shirt. I had to wear my Innie Mini Money Mo shirt that they sell at Skybound's online store, shop.thewalkingdead.com. Now, thoughts and opinions. What do you think about Negan's backstory, how they broke it apart, and also, what do you think about Image Plus? Put those down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.